Game on, everybody, and welcome to another video. In my last video, I requested just a 50 like goal and you guys blew past it within 6 hours. So I am very thankful, and as promised, I wanted to showcase to you guys my Aerial Rebuild command toolbox. So let's go ahead and get started. So Aerial command rebuild is what I kind of wanted to coin this deck as. It's pretty straightforward, but what we have is Gundam Aerial Rebuild as 3 copies, and we have 3 copies of Sulleta Mercury. So until we get more aerial Gundams that are better suited for Sulleta, or we get more commands to help enable, I would justify playing more. If you want to play more than the 3 copies of each card to make it more of an aerial rebuild, that is all up to you. This is just works for me, so I just wanted to showcase to you guys my build. And I actually have 3 different variants for you guys, including a red, white, green, white, and of course the normal blue, white variant. So I wanted to showcase to you guys the core strategy first before I started showing you guys the variants. So with the core commands, we have, of course, Overflowing Affection, the draw 2, then discard 1. And we also have 3 copies of Unforeseen Incident and 3 copies of Striker Pack. And this is a lot already for a command style deck, in the sense of just like, that's what you kind of need to do. You need to run a lot of commands, right? So Striker Pack is great because it has the burst effect of when it activates as a burst, you get to create a 3/3 blocker token, but you can outright play it and recur it with Aerial Rebuild when you pair it, and you can make a 4/2 blocker or a 2/4 blocker, which is great. And Unforeseen Incident is also a fantastic card because I love card game interaction, where as a main or action, you can choose one enemy unit and it gets -3 AP during this turn. So it really catches your opponent off it actually catches them by surprise, really. And I think that it's just a really fantastic card. I've opted to play this split ratio. I've seen some people maybe even try a 2 ratios of Striker Pack and Unforeseen Incident just to kind of fit more units instead. And maybe they're right, but I feel like with a command style deck, you kind of just max out on all this, and I just think these are really good cards. For our small blocker package, what we have is, of course, our 4 Zowarts and 4 Gundam Lfrithsprovide, as you know, the early game strategy part of the deck, and just some bodies to put out there to kind of really stall it out, to kind of give you some more time to get into rebuild to command those. And the whole strategy really is to out-resource your opponent and make those really favorable trades, giving your opponent those really hard decisions on when to attack, because sometimes they'll think that you're going to block with your Zawart, and you might, where it's going to cost, they're going to end up taking 3 damage, and they just will take the 3 damage back and they'll knock it out. But if you hit them with Unforeseen Incident, then what's going to happen is you'll -3 them and you'll make a favorable trade on their turn, and it messes their whole strategy up. And also with Gundam Lfrith, it can really give you that extra attack, and with some more cards that are coming up, you'll see kind of how the strategy kind of flows. But what I like to do is, so here's our supporting pilot. I like to build decks with 2 main pilots, and that is kind of the core of it. So we have, of course, 4 Kira Yamatos. His effect is really good. On attack, you can choose 1 enemy unit and give -2 during this battle. And we have, of course, Ail Strike Gundam. When paired with a 4 or higher pilot, you can choose 1 enemy unit with 4 or less HP and then return it to the opponent's hand. And it's, of course, a blocker. And we have Freedom Gundam, which is our big blocker. During pair once per turn, when you pair a pilot with this unit, with one of your white units, you can choose 1 enemy unit. It gets -2 AP during this turn. Insanely annoying stat line as well, because it's a level 7 4/6 that can link with Kira Yamato, but it gets that effect when you pair it. Really good strategy overall. I enjoy the blocker package. It kind of really helps you kind of control the game, but this deck is much more of a mid-range style deck. So let's talk about our base first. So for our base, of course, you're playing a blocker deck, you would include Archangel, which has the activate main once per turn. Pay 2 resources, choose 1 friendly unit with blocker, set it as active. It can't attack during this turn. Really solid base. Definitely a staple card in all the blocker strategies, but I said it was a mid-range deck. So what I actually like to do is include, so if it's an aggro style deck, I like to do 4 bases. If it's a mid-range, I do 5, and if it's a control strategy, I do 6. And that's kind of where I like to have my sweet spots. So let's go ahead and discuss the blue variant. So in my blue variant, I opted to play white base as my 5th base. and it has that ability of activate main once per turn, pay 2 resources. If you have nothing on the board, you can deploy 1 Gundam, that's a 3/3. If you have 1 unit on the board, you can make a gun cannon, that's a 2/2, and if you have 2 or more, you can deploy a gun tank, that's a 1/1. Really good value, but it's more of a tech card. If you're interested in doing like a 3/2 split, I can also see that as well for justification if you really like the white base summon mechanic. But I think it's more of a like nice to have, extra cool 5th base to have in a blue variant. But moving on from bases, so our main command card that we're including for blue is of course a Show Resolve. It has the main effect of draw 2, but I only opted to play 3. One, because it's one of those cards that's way better to see. You like, this deck already has draw power off of the white draw 2 discard one. So, and this being a level 4 3 cost, it kind of sucks to play it on your level 4 turn. And then it's like, cool, I drew 2 cards and I didn't really do anything. The only saving grace, I guess, is if you draw Unforeseen Incident as like the one in your hand as like a surprise gotcha moment for your opponent. But moving on to our supporting pilot, this variant will bring us up to 10 pilots. We have Amuro Ray, probably the best pilot in the game, hands down, with all those special keywords, and has the ability when you pair it, choose 1 enemy unit with 5 or less HP, rest it. Awesome, really great card. And the only reason why I'm not opting to play like 4 copies is because I don't really have that many link targets for this strategy. Maybe hopefully we get a smaller link pilot. I mean, what we have is good enough, really. And so I have the 2 copies of the base Gundam, where with the repair 2, and then during during your turn, all your units get +1 AP. As more of like a tech flex slot. If you wanted to opt to play like a 3rd one, I can see that. Maybe you would have to, moving on to our next card, bump down ReZEL to 2 copies, but I opted for 3 just because it's a great stat line vanilla character that can really help you swing into those really heavy blocker meta that's kind of going on right now. So I like this ratio for my blue variant. And then here is the blue variant curve. So you can see it's a lot more tightly towards the early-ish mid kind of package with some top end that's really good. And then you're using those commands. And the whole goal is to really out-resource your opponent, drawing a lot of cards to get that advantage, to overwhelm them in the late game, because you just have the better blocker units, and essentially that can also do some really favorable trades with Unforeseen Incident. And you're going to be drawing a lot of cards. So that's basically the core to this deck. Now onto the red variant. I've been really trying to make this work. I haven't quite finalized my ratios for this, but one thing I know for certain is that I can't justify playing 4 Archangels. I bumped it down to 3, and I increased the 2 bases for Vesalius, just so then that way I can help reach those unique thresholds that the Zaft cards have. So the core command card in the red variant that I really wanted to play is Battle of Aces. I really also wanted to play 3 copies, but I'm really kind of torn on some of these ratios because it is a command strategy deck, but it's recurable, so you can kind of get away with 2. Maybe we swap around some Unforeseen Incidents or some other cards to basically help us find it. But Battle of Aces has the effect of burst. You can choose 1 enemy unit, deal 2 damage to it, and then we have the main action, choose 1 damaged enemy unit, deal 3 damage to it. So that's why I'm playing it as 2, because it's one of those situational cards, and it's not as reliable as the blue, red, pink deck that can effectively put damage on character or on units. To really get that value off of it, to maximize it, there are some cards that do some chip damage, but they're more available in the blue variant. But this is, you know, we're stuck with white because we're building aerial rebuilds, right? So our pilot, our supporting pilot, is the Athrun Zala. When linked during this turn, this unit may choose an active enemy unit that's level 5 or lower as its attack, which is great when you pair it with the Aegis Gundam MA mode. It has Breach 3, so it'll be that 4/6 body that really can help trade into those blockers, and Breach 3, which is really good. In my opinion, I think Breach is a broken keyword. And also what we have here, for if we pair it with the Aegis Gundam base model, is how I kind of call it. So attack, if this unit has 5 or more AP, which it likely would if you pair it with Arthur, or if you do a Vesalius. choose one enemy unit that has level 5 or higher, deal 3 damage to it. So that helps us basically kind of swing up into those. So we'll be able to do 3 ping damage into a body, and then maybe hopefully a Battle of Aces ping into it, Aerial Rebuild, you know, ping it again more, or our blockers can really now trade into those units that are much bulkier or like a lot more HP. So that is the red variant, and here is my red variant curve. You can see that we have again, much more lower to the ground, because that's where we're playing like more of the units rather than the top end stuff, because you know the units are a lot lower, really heavy in the floor. But again, mid-range deck, this is kind of where you'll see that stat line. On to not so mid-range though, we have our green variant. So the green variant, I opted to, it's more control-y style, because you really need to get to that late game end game stuff. So what I opted to is to now include the 6 base of Underground Desert Base +2 from our core build. And let's go ahead and just talk to what we omitted first to make room for the green variant package instead. So I opted to remove one Zawart, because again, it's late game, and we're really kind of hopefully relying on more of our bases to keep us alive. And Zawart kind of will lose its value, especially in this variant. It's anti-synergistic with Gundam Wing Zero. And then I wanted to, because I'm cutting down the 2 Freedom Gundams and 1 Ail Strike Gundams, we don't necessarily need a max playset of Kira Yamato, because Heero is going to be our new like supplementary pilot as a secondary. So we have Heero that has level 4 1 cost. He's a 2/1, but also when he's linked to a Wing Gundam, he gets that +1 AP and HP. So really great card. My command tech choice for this variant is Simultaneous Fire. It has the main choose one of your units, it gains Breach 3, which can now make our blockers swing, restand with the Archangel, and it'll be able to even breach, making us do like basically 2-for-1 trades on our turn, or more. Like, that's just basically what I think. It's just refetchable, and you can use it to pair to also trigger off Aerial Rebuild. So that's I think just a really cool tech that we can do, and we can refetch it because it's a command and not necessarily a pilot first. So we're again more of a ramp variant, control variant with Wing Gundam Bird Mode. You got to play the max copy, so then that way we can do the deploy, place 1 EX resource. Really cool card. And we have different top end, right? So we have Wing Gundam with the Breach 5, and it has, we're playing the 3 copies. If we pair it with or if we link it with Heero Yuy, we'll be able to attack with it right away, swing into characters that, or units that are level 4 or lower, because it has that ability of this unit may choose active enemy units that are level 4 or lower, so really forcing your opponent to block, and then we'll be really reliably triggering Breach 5 to knock out those bases to really give us our really favorable trades. If you've played the green variants, or I'm sorry, the green Wing Zero decks, you already know really kind of what this package is. And then our Wing Gundam Zero, I opted to play 2. It has a high maneuver, so it can't be blocked, and then when you deploy this, it does 3 damage to all level 5 or lower units. Really powerful card, and that is our top end of choice, replacing our Freedom Gundam. And this is what the curve looks like here. So we've cut a lot of the lower stuff and we moved it towards more the higher end, because we now have that 8 drop and we need to reliably do it by ramping into it. And coming soon, whenever Starter Deck 7 comes out, I will be figuring out a purple Gundam Exia Aerial Rebuild deck, more than likely, because we already know the purple mechanic seems to be something related to fetching stuff or doing stuff in your trash and recurring them. And what better combo package than this Aerial Rebuild to recycle, replay commands, and who knows what the purple package has in store. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this has. If you guys are interested in that when it comes out, let me know in the comments down below. And again, I just want to say thank you again so very much for the feedback that you guys have been doing for my video, or for my channel. Thank you again so much. I really do greatly appreciate that. Thank you to all my Patreon supporters and new subscribers, and anybody who left a like and comment. I always try to respond as quickly as I can to your comments, so thank you again for your guys' support. I will see you guys in the next video. I'm out of here.